What's going on today, guys? Look, I wanted to make a specific video about this, and a lot of people, man, it's kind of hard. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't want to make anybody mad. But the facts of me, man, this is my business. I'm like, I don't have one of them things that says, hey, you ain't gotta trust me, you gotta believe in me, or whatever it is. His little thing he puts up there on the top corner or whatever. I'm not that great with editing yet. I'm getting better and better at editing, but I'm not there yet. So to plug people in and all that, I'm just learning, So, but on this conversation that I have, you know, I it's about weed eaters, okay? I love Stihl. That's all I run. I run Stihl. Everything I run Stihl. And I know Ray and a lot of people in the business, it's Stihl. It's big brand, I got an Echo Edger and I love it, So the topic I want to talk about today is the FS91R and the FS70R. Oh, 70R. That's like mid-grade. Why would you run that in your lawn care business? Why would you run a mid-grade in your professional lawn care company or whatever? I'll tell you the reason. If you listen back in my other channels, go back to my other channels and look at them or whatever. We do these banks at the marina, and they're terrible. They're super terrible. My guys spend 20 hours every other weekend weeding them banks. And it's every 2 weeks. So it gets pretty thick. It gets really thick. They don't like the FS91R. They don't. The 94, the 91. I got one. I'll show you here in a second. This thing is practically brand new. It hardly ever gets ran because it's so heavy. They don't like it. They like the 70s. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't think the 70s last as long as the 91Rs, you're crazy. I'm living proof of it in my business. We'll run them things for about 2 years. Once they're trash, they're trash. Just like Ray was saying about the 91Rs or whatever, or his weed eaters or whatever. He's getting that amount of time out of his or whatever, and then he's getting another one. Just because it won't crank right, it's losing power and all that. The 70s are way cheaper than the 91Rs. They're not as heavy. So I bought the 91R because I was like, everybody's talking about the 91Rs, how good they are. They're powerful, they're more powerful and all that. If we're cutting grass, if you're in the business and you're cutting grass every 2 weeks and you have weekly and you have every 2 week properties or whatever, I can understand. And that rarely happens with me. My 70s will mow down something that a property calls me up and they're wanting to clean up and they hadn't had it cut in 2 months. Them 70s will get out there and I'm telling you, man, they'll hang with the boys. I'm living proof. I've ran them on the banks. When we started out there at the marina 4 years ago, it hadn't been cut. Them banks hadn't been cut in 5 months. So you can imagine how tall all them banks were, and it been not cut for 5 months. Me and 3 guys got out there with them 70 yards and hammered down. And you know what? Still running the 70 yards. I might not be running them. Like I said, they'll last about 2 years, and man, we wear them out, dude. When you put 20 hours every other weekend on just one specific area, not counting all we do all week long, we got several yards. We got over 100 yards too. We got over 100 properties. That's just one property that I count, and they do that. So I don't want to hurt anybody in the industry or anything with that, but I'm just telling you, man, them 70s are pretty good, and I'm starting to see a lot of people in my town running them 70s more than 91s too. They're just lighter, man. I mean, you're weeding all day long, man. You don't tote that heavy thing around and weed eat all day, man. It just wears you out. So it's one way to make it a little bit more efficient for you. Roberto won't touch it. I'm like, Roberto, it's strung up and everything. So Roberto, use the 91, man, so you ain't got to string up another one. He's like, I don't like that one. I ain't running it. It's too heavy. He'll string it up pretty quick anyways. And that's another thing, man. We use the standard, what you buy with a weed eater head. And I know a lot of people's like, you need the feed speed head. You need the feed speed head. You know, here's my thing on that. The top cover don't wear out as fast as the button. They're not connected together. I get a button for $5 and a top piece. I don't have to get as much as often. I have to get the button head a little bit faster though, a little bit more. And we can change some things out pretty quick. So I don't know, man. When you get the bump head, the speed bump, I think you have to buy the whole thing every single time. It's like $30-$40. I might be wrong. I don't know. I've never really had one, so I can't. I've had one before, and I even had the ones where you cut the little pieces and you stick them on the ends on both sides, and you keep a couple of, like a bundle in your pocket, and once they wear out, you just slide it in, it holds it in. I didn't like them either. And I had the speed feed head, and I didn't like it either. It's just ours, man. I'm just so used to ours, man. And I know a bunch of companies here in my town, they don't use the speed feed head either. They use what comes on the Stihl Weedeater, and you just switch it out. I mean, when you buy a bump head, you're buying a bump head probably 5 times before you're having to buy that top cover. And then it's only $9 too. So it's not that expensive. And once you train the guy to how to wind the strings up and 2 or 3 times, they got it. I mean, you're going, boom. You don't never have to have that. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. So let me show y'all the Weedeaters that I'm talking about and give y'all my thoughts more on it and everything. All right, guys. So here they are. FS70Rs. I got 2 of them. I actually got 2 more, you know, on the side that we're not even using because, like I said, it's only me and Roberto. So he's got one, I got one. And then right down here, there's a 91R. It looks old. I promise you, it hadn't been ran much at all. It's just weathered because it's, you know, I got an open landscaping trailer, but, you know, I started parking under the shed and everything. So that's why it looks the way it looks. But dude, this thing, look, I'll even show you. Look at the shaft on it. I mean, it's practically brand new. It never gets run because it's so heavy. My guys don't like it. So the 70s, look at them. Them bad boys get run. Now, we keep the cover on some that when we're doing residential properties and everything, because Chad was saying in his last video and everything, you know, you got to be careful. You know, you don't want to bust out a window or a storm door or something like that. So you need to be kind of careful. Now, they use that one, you know, Roberto does for the banks and, you know, open areas around trees and all that. Because, I mean, it does. And everybody knows it'll make it even a little bit more lighter when you don't have the cover on it. At the bottom of the head, it makes it just that little bit more light. So it's easier for you. Now, I'm a taller guy, and I don't do as much weed eating. I do some. So I used to have the Darn grip on here, but I just took it off. Roberto, he's short. He don't even need the Darn grip. I put it on there several times, and he just looks at me like I'm crazy. Like, dang, dude, I'm not 6 foot, you know. I'm like 5'4". I mean, he might even be not even that. And he's like, what am I do with that? So he don't need it. So I use the equipment defender racks. I love them. I don't use the key. I use the combination locks. So every one of them has their own combination lock on it and everything. So, you know, I use it for the blower. I got the gas jugs. I got the edger over here, which I'm not prone. I mean, I just bought this from Home Depot. I had to get one really quick one day, and I think it was on the weekend. And, you know, my Stihl dealer, they're not open on Sundays. And I think that's what it was. I got it on Sunday. I just went to Home Depot. They had it in stock. Boom, bought it. And, man, it's been a pretty good one, man. Roberto likes it, man. We do a pretty good bit of edging with it. And then I have the Stihl HL 94K hedge trimmers. These are the small ones. I have the ones that articulate and everything. They're not on the trailer right now. So I could put one up on the very top and then stick a weed eater on the very bottom, because I got a 4 rack here and then I bought a 2 rack for this side. Kind of wish I would have bought the 4 and the 3, because I got a couple other pieces of equipment over there that, you know, I could be putting on the trailer too. You know, I got pole saw, got more weed eaters, you know, that other hedge trimmer. So But I wanted to talk to y'all about that. So that was just me giving my advice on them weed eaters. I know Ray mentioned the other day in his video, he was looking at getting a new one, and I wanted to comment so bad. I should have. And so I wanted to do a video on it. Like, dude, get the 70 R, man. It's pretty good. It's light for your guys. And it's just a good weed eater, man. It keeps up with them big boys or whatever. And it's a little cheaper, and it lasts just as long. So definitely wanted to just give my honest opinion on it. We run them a lot. We really, really like them. So, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, if I do this every day, I hope I give y'all the best advice on pieces of equipment that you can run. So, but that's definitely what I wanted to tell y'all. They're great. You know, well, that's it for today. Short video, just going to talk about that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking, subscribing, comment. Please put a comment down. If it's a bad comment, good comment, it doesn't matter to me, man. I'll write you back. You know, I want everybody's opinion on this. Is there any other guys out there running the smaller weed eaters, the 70Rs? Or, hey, you're just heck bent on the bigger ones. And that's fine. I mean, that's how you run your business. Is how I run mine. I no problem. I'm just giving you my opinion. So put it down there in the comments, man. I'd love to hear the feedback. So thanks again. Y'all have a great day. Until next time. Peace.